Hello everyone and welcome to my review for Record of Ragnarok chapters 70 through 72. You may have noticed I didn't do a review for last month's chapters. That's for two reasons. One, I was having a really hard time finding the opportunity and the motivation to do the review. And the reason for that, secondary reason I suppose, was that I didn't really feel like I had that much to talk about with it. You know, it was pretty much just fighting. Which I liked. It was good fighting, but I didn't really have anything to say about it outside of that. But now that we've gotten those two chapters, and then this chapter, which really isn't any fighting, it's pretty much almost all monologuing and explanation for things. I guess it makes it a little bit easier to talk about these three chapters as just kind of one singular thing. So that's what I'm going to do today. But before I get into that, if you haven't already, definitely be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any future Record of Ragnarok uploads. The next big subscriber goal for the channel is hitting 10,000 subscribers, so let's see if we can eventually hit that. Without any further ado, let's get right into today's video. This fight thus far, I think, has been giving us what we really wanted, what we really needed out of a Ragnarok fight. At the very least, with Tesla. Beelzebub's still good because he's more of an ability fighter than just a physical fighter. You know, his, what do they call it now? Soratu or something. They're using, like, not actually sure what region it would be. But I believe they said he's Canite. He's a Canite deity. So I guess they're using, like, Canite words. His power is called Palmyra. I know in the other translation it was called, like, what was it? Like, buzzing of the fly's wings or something, which was still good. But, you know, kind of giving it more of a localized name like that. Not localized for us, localized for wherever he's supposed to be from. I think that's really good. And his power is amplified by his staff, which has a Greek name, so I'm pretty sure it was given to him by Hades. It will be given to him from Hades, probably in next month's chapter. So, you know, he has, like, an actual power, as opposed to just being really strong or really fast, I guess. Which is good. That's what we wanted. The gods should feel a little more godlike, as opposed to just being kind of strong. And Tesla, oh, he's just pulling out all of the special abilities. Every time he does something, he comes up with a new name for the ability, which, like, 60% of the time has his own name in it. And people in the audience are like, that's so fucking lame. Oh my god. Which is great. I love when someone comes up with a name for a technique and other characters are like, that's fucking stupid. That sounds like shit. However, his big technique, generally speaking, his most important technique, which we get in Chapter 70, is the Gematria Zone Prison of the Gods. This is a giant electric cage. So, you know, first off, we turn it into a science cage match. Great. Second, the primary function of the Gematria Zone is to let Tesla do shit that defies our current understanding of physics, utilizing what he presumably named super Tesla particles. He's able to do things such as levitate, move without acceleration, and teleport. Yep. So Tesla's getting, like, a lot of really impressive feats that he's accomplishing just through science. He's doing a lot of things that most other characters are not actually capable of. It'll be interesting to see when this is over, just how Tesla stacks up to a lot of the other fighters, because his abilities are quite tricky, they're quite powerful. Obviously, they rely entirely upon his Volant. That's actually something very interesting about Tesla, is he doesn't really have a power on his own. All of the crazy stuff that he's doing is just through the power of his Voland, because he just thought of things that his Voland would be able to do. The only one really comparable is Jack, and even then Jack has a power, it's his weird eye thing. Outside of that, it's just his Voland lets him effectively murder people. Yep. So I really like Tesla. He's great. The fight, the actual back and forth between him and Beelzebub in Chapter 71 is really solid. We get Tesla steps, which is just kind of him doing flash stepping, and his zero max speed, which is great. He's just kind of like flipping around through the air and stuff because he's defying gravity. It's wonderful. And then he gets Tesla warp, which is just teleporting. He can just teleport. He can do that. We get a whole flashback thing dedicated to the Philadelphia experiment to explain this. No, Tesla's stuff was not a failure. It's just technology hadn't caught up to where his mind was at the time. Tesla is living in the future, and we're all living in the past. So, through the power of divine creation, his unbelievable genius is able to meet its full potential. Everything that he can think of is able to be realized without the limitations of human technology. It's great, it's wonderful. I love it. However, there is a limitation to his teleportation, which is like really good because you can just sort of attack someone from their blind spot, but there's also a limitation to that. I also really like how Beelzebub pretty much instantly deduces the restrictions, because Beelzebub is also a scientist. He's also supposed to be really smart, so I'm really looking forward into when we get into some more of his creations. I suppose he's more of like an alchemist or something, considering a lot of his stuff seems to be based around like messing with what I guess would be chemistry, but I mean, shit, he turned Adamus into a cyborg, so I guess he still does quite a bit of science. He's an evil scientist, an evil god scientist. But he's supposed to be really smart as well, and I'm glad that we see that here when, as soon as Tesla does what so far is his ultimate move, he's like, okay, there are 3 restrictions on this. The first one is that you need time to build up the energy for activation. The second is that your movement's limited, and the third is that you have a limited number of times you can do it. So Tesla has to go around and he has to fill the area within the Gematria Zone, which is the only space he can do it in, with Tesla particles. Presumably because the Gematria Zone keeps them within the area, I guess. So all of his like silly flipping around and stuff was actually him spreading around the particles. And then he's only able to do it 3 times. It consumes one of these super Tesla coils on his automaton suit every time that he uses it. So he only has 2 remaining uses, and presumably if he does it more times than that, the suit will explode and he'll die. So there's our power limitation. Seems like the power limitations are almost always just on the humans. Actually, not really. Hercules had them. Shiva had them, kind of. I guess Hades did, because, you know, he would die if he bled out. I know, I can't believe he would die if all of the blood left his body. It's crazy. What a severe restriction. Anyway, so, you know, Tesla cannot infinitely teleport. He cannot instant transmission as much as he wants. He is still a human being relying upon technology to accomplish these things. So that's fitting. But the best part about this is after Beelzebub makes his deductions, Tesla corrects him and then fully explains how his abilities work. And everyone in the audience is like, why the fuck are you telling him how your powers work? Why would you do that? Now he can't be taken by surprise. But Tesla says, you should not hide information. Withholding information is a detriment to science. I love it. He's great. He's fantastic. Now, I only have like one minor critique thus far, and it'll depend on, you know, what exactly we get next chapter for Beelzebub. But we're going into a second Beelzebub flashback now, again, and we haven't even gotten one for Tesla yet. I don't want us to have a repeat of last round, where Chin got like 20 pages of backstory in one chapter, and then got like a full fucking 80-page chapter just for his second flashback. Beelzebub already got a full dedicated chapter for his flashback. It was like 70 pages or something. He should be good. That should be sufficient for a flashback chapter that's not just like half a dozen pages, or 10 in like a 100-page chapter. It's like the climax of the fight or something. We need a little something for Tesla. So I'm hoping the flashback that he gets with Hades in next month's chapter, which is presumably going to be revealing how he got the staff, how he became acquainted with Hades. Oh my god, I just noticed that the fucking end panel for Hades' flashback chapter is an actual painting that he keeps in his throne room. That's neat. Unfortunately, the last round, totally killed almost all of my interest in his character. So, yeah, I'm not particularly invested in this. I hope it's not basically the entirety of next chapter. I just want to see a little bit of what happened there, how they got to know each other. I also assume that Hades being killed in Ragnarok is another example of Satan's curse killing people that are close to Beelzebub, because, that just makes sense. And it being able to kill one of the head deities really does lead credence to why so many people are scared of Beelzebub, because, even someone as powerful as Hades is affected by that. That's pretty wild. So, yeah, we're just gonna have to see what happens next month. But, in summary, the fight's going pretty well thus far. It hasn't knocked my socks off. I would not put it in, the top 3 fights. But it's better than the other recent ones thus far. It's better than the other post-round 4 fights, which is where I think most people agree the series started to kind of dip in quality. So, we maintain consistent quality. It'll be the best of the post-round 4 fights, I think. But if we go higher, if we can get much higher, we'll see if it can crack top 3. I think it has potential. Tesla's already putting in a lot of work. Tesla's really good thus far. So I think once Beelzebub starts getting serious and we start seeing some more crazy shit from him, and then we get a really good Tesla flashback, we will see how high the rating of this fight can get. But only time will tell. So with that, that's all I've got for this month's review. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. I do Record of Ragnarok chapter reviews every month, unless I just don't for some reason. If you enjoy discussing Record of Ragnarok with other people, or just enjoy the content I produce on this channel, I highly suggest you check out my Discord server. I have a link to that down in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys around. Take care.